Hey guys, today we'll learn how to set up a DNS server in Red Hat 6. Host name. This is my server.example.com. This is my primary DNS, and client.example.com. This is my slave DNS, that is secondary DNS. I have already configured this DNS. I will just show you the configuration file and the zone file. Now let's go to the configuration file. Config. Let's check this file. It's a name.config file. Here the configuration. My primary DNS, that is server.example.com, is 192.168.2.235 and allowed for this network range. Here I have created a zone file, that is example.com, and type master, and file name is the fwd. This is a forward.example.com and allowed it is none. Now I'm just going to show you that my reverse entry in zone file, that is 2.168.92.in area.alpha, and type is master, and file is rep.example.com, and I'm just going to save this file. Now I'll show you where we have to create this zone file. Let's go to cd var named ls. Here you can see that I have already created a forward.example.com and reverse.example.com. Let's check the modification and entry of these files. Vim forward.example.com. Here you can see that server.example.com is my state of authority, and root.example is my email address, and server.example.com is my primary DNS entry, and client.example.com is my secondary DNS. Host, that my server name is server, and a record for server is 192.168.2.235, and for client, that is my secondary DNS. This IP is 192.168.2.136, and MX record I have configured as a server.example.com, and this is the cname for example.com. Let's save this file. Let's check that our DNS server is working or not. First of all, we need to check that these files are working or not. So we'll just do one thing, that check. Before that, we will restart the service name restart chk config NAMAD named on. That's good. Our service is started successfully. Now we need to check the configuration file. So we'll check zone file. First of all, we'll ping server.example.com. It's pinging, and let's check client client.example.com. This is my secondary DNS. Yeah, we are getting the reply. It's resolving the name. Let's check some more utilities. The server dot example.com. Here you can see that a query I have already given the one, and the answer I've got one, and authority is 2 and additional is 1. That is server.example answer is 192.168 is a record, and example.com authority section is server.example.com and client.example.com, and additional feature is there. Now let's check for the client. digit client example.com. Here you can see that already query is 1, answer is 1, and additional authority. That it means that my primary configuration is okay. Now I have to check the PTR record, that is the reverse DNS entry. dig-x 192.168.2.235. Yes, our reverse DNS entry is also working fine. Query is successful. Now let's go to the secondary server, that is slave. Here also we have to go inside the configuration file name.config. Here in relation on port 53, this IP 192.168.2.136 is our slave DNS server, that is secondary DNS server, and this is query allowed by, let's make it the whole network workable. Allow query by, and next is my zone entry. The zone is example.com, type is slave, this is a secondary server file. Slave, there is a directory under var named slave, under that example.fwd. This file will be automatically synced from primary server, and master server IP is 192.168.2.235, and reverse zone entry is type slave, and same thing we have to include. Just we need to save this file. Let's start the service name restart. Successfully the service has been started, and now we will go to the directory that slave var named slave ls. You can see that this example.fw file and example.rev is automatically synced from primary server. Now we'll check is it resolving or not. client client.example.com. Yes, it's giving me the queries answer, and more one thing you can do, that cat example dot, you can check the file, the configuration file. This file is correct, as here we can see in cat, it's cat var named forward.example.com. Here you can match this both the file. This example.fw file is automatically synced from the primary server. Now let's check and as look up server. You can see that it's resolving to the name 191.168.2.235. Same things we'll do for the client client is also. Now let's check some, I want to check the MX records, the mail server for this domain example.com, right? And let's look up, I just want to say type equals to mx example example.com. Here you can see that example.com mail exchanger is 10 given the value, and it's a server.example is our mail exchanger. It's a the more one thing I want to show you that the file that I created in example.com, I want to show you that file cat file named forward.example.com. This is the simple entry we have made, and this is the working. Let's check. This is my FTP is pointing or not. FTP.example.com. This is pointing. This is also